What can you expect from the aging and dying narcissistic person in your life? Well, based on my coaching experience, it's going to come down to a combination of three factors to consider. Number one is going to be survival. Number two is going to be acting, mask wearing. And number three is going to be a little bit of paranoia mixed into the mix, or maybe a lot of paranoia. We're going to talk about these three things that are typically displayed and exaggerated in the aging and dying narcissistic person. And just to start off this video right away, if your question is, can they change? The answer is no. Let's get into this. My name is Kevin. This is The Royal We. Now, before I do continue with this very important message, I want to let you know that I am here to support you. Down in the description box below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. So if you are dealing currently with an aging and dying narcissistic person in your life and you're looking for some help in navigating this situation, head on down there, schedule some time with me. I would love to talk with you. In addition to that, I have a coaching program. Now, my coaching program is live and in person Monday through Friday. It's not some pre-recorded material or written stuff that I send you to deal with on your own. I'm actually there to answer your questions on a daily basis, and it's community-oriented. So if you're looking for a community to support you, head on down there. Consider joining the Royal We coaching program. Now, let's jump right into this, beginning with the first thing that we want to talk about when it comes to the aging and dying narcissist, and that is survival. Now, obviously, we all need to survive. But when we talk about survival, what we're talking about is a person's ability to, despite their circumstances, go after what they need to survive. It's securing what they don't have. So typically, with narcissistic people, they will become hell-bent on securing what it is they don't have in this life, what they have not been able to secure themselves. So if they have not stored up wealth for themselves, if they have not stored up enough money to take care of themselves, then they will become hell-bent on securing that. They will go after, for example, people who have money, right? So for those of you who are perhaps elderly and you are single and you have your own home and you have lots of money, beware, right? You're probably going to have narcissistic people knocking at your door who don't have anything, trying to creep in. So they will go after what it is that they are missing. So if it's money, they're going to go after that. They're going to find somebody to mooch off of for the remainder of their days. If it's relationships that they lack, and let's face it, narcissistically abusive people, even though they're great and they have a lot of charisma and they can be charming, they end up burning a lot of bridges, right? They have brought people into their lives only to hurt them. So it's no wonder at some point as they age and they're dying, they realize, oh my gosh, I have nobody to call upon. Nobody to take me to my doctor's appointments. Nobody. So they may try to secure that, which means they're going to be out, trying to meet people, trying to sweet talk people, right? And by the way, what also is important to understand about this is that they will eliminate the threats. So if you are a threat to a narcissistic person in your life who is trying to secure their survival, meaning you're trying to stand in the way of them going after somebody with money, trying to mooch off them, if you're standing in the way of them meeting new people, making new friends, or if you simply just don't have anything to offer, yet you're demanding their time, they're going to get rid of you. They're going to get rid of you. No, they don't want a relationship with you. No, they don't want to waste their time with you. They're securing what they don't have, period, end. And they will bulldoze anybody who tries to stand in the way of that. So this is important for you to understand. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about in order for them to secure what they don't have is their ability to act, to transform, to morph. And now this is going to get into the narcissistic person's final act, is what I call it. Because obviously, and this is something that narcissistic people are great at, they're known as chameleons. And I'm not just talking about them maybe changing their fashion, right? And it's not, well, suddenly they got into scarves and they're wearing scarves now. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a complete transformation of their character. Now, this they have to do in order to meet their survival needs. So let me give you an example of what this looks like. Let's say you have this mean, cruel, nasty, narcissistic person who's out being mean and nasty and it never goes to church, doesn't believe in God, this and that. Well, suddenly they meet a single, unsuspecting person who is wealthy, has a lot of money, has a nice place, and they go to church. Well, suddenly this narcissistic person, in order to secure the survival, is going to transform into anybody? Anybody? That's right, the good Christian person. They're going to start going to church right alongside that person. They're going to dress up. They're going to change their whole attitude. I'm a strong believer in God. Oh my gosh. When the reality is no, all they're doing is a final act that's securing what they need to survive. They've gone from mean, horrible person to the perfect Christian, perfect church-going person. Is it that they really have a great relationship with God? No. They're simply living their final act in order to survive. Okay? That's it. Maybe if they need money, if they need friendships, if they need people so they're not alone. Maybe that's what they lack. Maybe they have all the money, but they just lack friendships. Well, they're going to morph into whatever those people are that they want. So this is where you can see a lot of aging and dying narcissistic personalities acting young, hanging out in younger places and with young people running around. Well, they're trying to fit in to secure this friendship, a gang, if you will. They're trying to fit into that. And they might even be using their money to secure that. They're buying everybody drinks. So whatever it is that they lack, that's what they're going for. That's the survival. The act, their final act, is them becoming what they need to become to survive. Now, moving on to the last one, which is an interesting one, and that is the paranoia. Now, obviously, when you live your life as an abusive person, or a narcissistic person, you leave this wake of destruction behind you. And I believe that most narcissistic people, all narcissistic people, they're well aware. Listen, people are not dumb. Narcissists are not. They're well aware of the damage that they've caused. They can look back and know. Now, whether or not they empathize with it or not, that's irrelevant. But they know from memory, they've seen hearts break in front of them. They've seen people's tears. They have seen people react to their violence and hostility. So it's inevitable that this wake of destruction will catch up with them. It's almost as if it haunts them in a way. And yes, I do believe that aging and dying narcissistic people are haunted. What are they haunted by? They're haunted by the wake of destruction that they've left behind them in their life. I don't believe that they just don't care about it. I believe they run from it. They run from it. And as a result, you're going to see some paranoia. Paranoia is the symptom of them running from the wake of destruction. Paranoia is them living in this place of everybody's out to get them. So how do you know that an aging and dying narcissistic person is in paranoia? Well, prior to them being on their hospital bed, for example, they might be really into guns and weapons and this and that. Now, I'm not talking about the aging and dying narcissist in the hospital bed. I'm talking about maybe in their later years. Suddenly, they're going to be into all kinds of weapons. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being into weapons. I personally, I'm trained in armed defense. I am. But when you have, all these shotguns and you're into all these ARs and rifles and blah, 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 and there's no end to it, okay, it's getting a bit much. Like, what are you prepping for? You know what I mean? Listen, if war's going to break out in your neighborhood that requires you to have all of that stuff, well, you're doomed anyways. Your whole neighborhood is. So it's pointless, right? But not only that, but their paranoia seeps into everything is wrong. The world is ending and all this type of stuff. There seems to be this general paranoia. They're very scared. I heard a story of one narcissistic person that was into guns and this and that, in a relationship, met all of these requirements, by the way, in a relationship with a woman who had the money, and he was there, transformed into what this woman was, right? Lived on a farm or ranch with her, so this guy became a cowboy, basically, just like that, overnight, then really got into guns and this and that. One time there was a story, and they were at a shopping center, a Walmart or something, and there was some ladies there with their shirts on, give for this cause or whatever, with a basket. And they're like, sir, can you give us some, sir? Anything helps, sir. Anything helps. You know those people that stand in the parking lots and hassle people for money, right? Anyways, this person was saying, no, thanks, walked. But apparently these women were a little bit more assertive, and they were following, please, sir, anything. And this guy, this narcissistic guy, had a gun on had his license to carry. He had a gun, and so he turned around, lifted his jacket up, put his hand on his holster, looked at him and said, no. And it was proud of that. It was proud of that. I'm not messing around. And I'm thinking to myself, when I heard the story, I'm like, that's nothing to be proud of, really? A couple of ladies who were aggressively hassling you for a cause, and you had to present your concealed to carry. That's on the paranoia side. Do you see what I'm saying? So but with narcissistic people, because of them being haunted by their actions, they lose sight of the difference of what's a real threat and what's not. And they really do feel like anybody who pulls up on their driveway is suspect. Anybody who's following along with them saying, please, anything help, can you donate some money, is suspect, because they're haunted by the destruction that they've left. And so they do go to the extremes. In addition to that, they might be thinking the world's ending because of the war in Israel and this and that. They're going to be talking about how horrible it is, and the world's coming to an end, and you don't know how serious this is, and our lives are all threatened, and blah, 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 blah. This is what you can expect with the aging and dying narcissist. At least from my coaching experience. Listen, leave your comments down below. I'd be anxious to hear your thoughts on this topic. And if you are new to this channel, I would like it if you would subscribe, hit the like button if you found this informative. Again, I am here to support you. I do take one-on-one calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp, and standard telephone calls. I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We. Be sure to watch one of these videos before you go, and I'll be back. Thanks, everyone.